welcome to my channel, Just Like Kay. Today I'm going to show you how to do some do-it-yourself acrylic toenails, but with minimal acrylic. So stay tuned. And while you're here, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. So here's everything that I used to achieve this look. We're starting off with some very raggedy feet, but that's okay. They'll soon shape up. I'm going ahead and removing all my old polish. Previously, I did a French tip on my nails, but that was weeks ago. And as you could tell, this is how it looks now. So here I am just go ahead and removing all that old polish. Now I'm just removing that same polish off the other foot, and by the way, I'm using a ceramic drill bit to take away that gel polish. I'm going to use my nail brush to take away all that extra dust and just keep the workspace clean to make things easier for myself. Next, I'm going to use a spray bottle that's filled with rubbing alcohol. I'm going to spray this onto my toes just to loosen up that cuticle area so that when I use my cuticle pusher, that skin's more pliable and easier to manipulate. After that's done, I'm going to use my sanding bit to sand over my toes just to remove that natural shine and any old acrylic or glue that might be on there from my last nail set. My next step is to go in with a pair of cuticle nippers. Now, it's important to make sure that your cuticle nippers are sharp, because if they're not and they're dull, it's just going to take way longer and be almost impossible. But since you did use the alcohol and the cuticle pusher, this skin should be very pliable and easy to lift. And also, removing your cuticle makes it easier for you to have no lifting when you do apply your acrylic. Even though I'm not going to be using acrylic on each toe, it's still important to remove that cuticle so that when I do put my press on the toe, it goes very flush with the nail and looks more natural looking. After I remove my cuticles with the nippers, I'm going to go in with my small metal drill bit and just clean up that area and remove any extra dead skin that would lead to lifting later on. Next, I'm going to go in with some regular toenail clippers, and I'm just going to go ahead and clip my toenails because I do want them to grow in even as they are growing underneath the acrylic and the press-on nails. And with them side by side, now you can see the difference after we have pushed our cuticles back, went in with the drill bit, so it does look much better and we have way more space to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and do the exact same process on the other foot and continue on with the next step. So after we have finished the nail prep on both of our feet, we're going to begin the actual application process. Next, I'm going to be showing you the dehydrant and the primer that I use on my nails. This is going to help with the best adherence and keep you from getting any lifting. You're also going to see me spraying some of that rubbing alcohol onto a cotton ball. This is just going to help remove some of that extra dust that the brush leaves behind. Our next step is going to be to apply our tips. So next I'm going to show you the tips that I use for my big toe, and then I'm going to show you the tips that I'm going to use for my actual press-ons for the smaller toes. For my big toe, you just find the biggest nail that you can or whatever size fits your big toe, and then the same exact things for the press-ons. I'm going to figure out which press-ons fit my toes. Now, I've had these press-ons for a really long time, so I can't tell you exactly where I got them, but I'll try and find the closest link. And these are just regular toe press-ons. I'm just gonna size them up and put them on, and I'll be putting them to the side so that they can stay in order. Now everyone, when I discovered these toe press-ons, it just blew my mind, because who has time to apply acrylic to each and every toe? And I really have sensitive nail beds, so that acrylic over time becomes heavy for me, and it's just such a hassle to have to refill every acrylic toe, let alone if you have to do your own nails. So I just find these press-on toenails so easy to work with, so convenient, and they pretty much have every size, so I definitely advise getting you some if you're a lazy girl, a busy girl, or just don't have time for all that. Next, I'm going to go in with my dehydrant. I'm going to use dehydrant on each toe because it's going to help with that adherence problem, but I'm only going to use my primer on the big toes because those are the only ones that I need to prime for acrylic application. So my next step was to go ahead and apply the tips, but then I remembered whenever I use press-ons or nail tips, I want to go ahead and file that inside of the nail tip or the press-on, because just like when we file away the natural shine to our nail, that it creates adherence. So you want to file away that shine on the inside of that nail to create some grooves that will allow your nail to adhere better to your nail surface. So the nail press-on or the tip is going to adhere better to your nail surface once you remove that shine, and just keep you from getting any lifting. Next, I'm going to apply the tips to my nails. After I apply the tips, I'm just going to go in with my nail cutters, clip them down to the length that I want, file them a little bit, and then continue on with my press-ons. So next, I'm going to actually begin putting the press-ons on my toes. So just be careful when you do apply press-ons, because it's the actual total nail. So don't be like me and apply that first one on crooked. Line your toes up straight, take your time, and place them on. So now you all have the opportunity to see what I mean by those nail tabs. Those are so helpful when you want to actually apply the nail. It keeps you from getting any glue on your fingers and just makes the application process even easier. Once I've placed all my press-ons on, I'm just going to twist that tab, use some toenail clippers, clip them down, and then file them to my desired shape. But I want to point out that I did not use a press-on for my pinky toe just because my pinky toe is all curved and a little awkward shape. So it's just kind of uncomfortable when I place a press-on onto my pinky toe. But don't let me discourage you. If yours will fit perfectly, go ahead, put it on. So once I've completed one foot and I got it how I want, I'm going to do the exact same steps to my other foot, nothing to it. Another fun and cool thing I did want to notate about these press-on toenails is that they are so convenient and just so easy for people like me who have back pain and just don't have time to be hunched over trying to paint nails. And also when you want to, tune into your more creative side and do some toenail designs, being hunched over for a long time can be painful. So with these press-ons, you can actually just use the tab, paint them, do whatever type of designs you want, wait for them to dry, and then press them on. It literally makes it so hassle-free and so easy. Now everyone keep in mind, we can go in whatever order we like to apply this. I personally like to apply my press-ons first, then go back and do my big toe with the acrylic, which is what you're going to see me do. I'm going to be using a Mia's Secret acrylic powder, and of course going to be using their liquid also to do my big toe. Now keep in mind, you can do your big toe first and then apply your press-ons. It's however you want. I just find this easier because after I apply my acrylic, I can just paint them and go. Alright everyone, so as I begin my actual acrylic application, y'all are going to see me struggle. So with filming and just trying to stay in the camera frame and be hunched over, it's a little hard to get the right angle to apply your acrylic. So I'm going to go in with different bead size. I'm not going to stay, on the 3 bead or even the 1 bead method. I'm going to go in with a smaller bead and then go in with a bigger bead and just try and fill it in and just make sure everything's smooth and nice and even. Now keep in mind, if you're more skilled at acrylic application, this won't be as hard for you and you probably won't be recording it, so it'll be way easier for you to apply it. But yeah, just do whatever's best for you. However it's easiest for you to get this acrylic on there, just do it, because in the end we're gonna file it and buff it away anyway, so it'll come out smooth and how you like. Now, what I will say about this process is the most time consuming thing, aside from, actually doing the entire thing, will be actually doing your acrylic toe and applying that acrylic, just because you do want to get it right. It is such a small area to work with, so you just want to make sure that everything is even. So I advise just taking your time, turning your nail around, just make sure that you didn't miss anything, everything's even. You want to make sure that you go across those side walls, make sure there's no acrylic running over, and just take your time with it. Next, we're going to switch toes or switch feet and do the other toe. Now, I want to notate I'm going to be doing the exact same process. As this was a little easier, I am kind of going to go out of the camera's view just a little bit, but it's not going to be too bad. One thing I do want to notate, and this is not going to happen to y'all, is I think there was like some type of speck or some dust or like previous, I don't know, debris inside of my acrylic or on my brush, and it's going to get in my acrylic and show on my toe, but it's okay, because once I polish it, you won't notice it at all. I just didn't want to go in and dig it out and then have to reapply it. It would just be easier to paint over it, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So no judgment, y'all. All right, everyone, so after we have applied that acrylic and it begins to dry, we're going to go ahead and start filing. I'm going to file, the side walls of the nails to create that shape, and then, file the top of it. After I file, I'm going to go back in with my sanding bit. Now, this sanding bit is a very medium grit. It's not too coarse, it's not rough, so that it is safe to put towards your cuticle area, as you saw me do in the beginning of the video, which is what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to use that sanding bit to sand down and buff and make that surface even, and this also is going to help you create a better adherence, keep there from getting any cracks on the side wall. This sanding bit is going to sand that smooth, so you don't have to worry about any lifting. After I finish with my sanding bit, I switch back to my thin metal drill bit with the curved tip, and this is just going to help with that cuticle area. Also, just going to go in and get really closely where that sanding bit couldn't reach, and just file away any loose areas that would cause that lifting, and just give us, like I said, better adherence. All right, everyone, we're reaching the end of this tutorial. What we're going to be doing now is I'm going to be using that same nail brush to dust away any extra dust. I'm going to be using that cotton swab with the rubbing alcohol to wipe away any excess dust that the brush left behind. And then I'm going to be showing you my top coat and my base coat. I'm going to be using Amelie. I believe that's how it's pronounced, top coat and base coat. I love this brand. I got it off of Amazon. It's very affordable. I'll be sure to link it in the description box. Other than that, I'm going to apply the base coat, cure that, and then I'll be back for when we apply the color. And you guys, on a side note, I just want to ask y'all not to judge me based off of the looks of my UV light. It has been through some things. They got glue, polish, glitter, and everything else you can think of on top of it, but it works perfectly fine. I also got that off Amazon, and I can put the link in the description box for you. So now I'm finishing with the base coat. I'm curing the base coat on the other foot. While I cure the base coat, I want to go ahead and show you that I'm going to be using acetone and this cute little mermaid brush that I got that helps clean up polish, so that when I begin my polishing, I can keep that neat, Warning, I suck at polishing, and you know what I said about these angles. It's hard to get this right while you're filming, so just, bear with me on polishing these toes, y'all. That's why I got that brush and that acetone, because it just helps clean that right up. All right, everyone, so we are going in with 2 coats of this very nice white polish. It is thick, nice and smooth, very easy to apply. I do advise or recommend you getting it, but I am going in with that second coat. Of course, after we apply that second coat, we'll come back for the top coat. Okay, so now we're back and I'm about to apply that top coat onto my nails. Very simple. Apply the top coat, let it cure, and then this is a no wipe top coat, so after you do apply it, you are all set to go. Alright everyone, so for the remainder of this video, I'm just going to be curing the rest of this top coat. I am going to go and try and work on my other foot. There is some dried polish on there that I'm going to try and get off to no avail. So off screen, I'll just get my nail brush, get some foot scrub, and just carefully scrub away at my cuticle area to get that extra polish off. So whenever I post my finished pictures at the very end, and of course you saw the intro picture, it'll be nice and neat. So I'll do that off camera. But other than that, I want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching this video. I hope you learned something. And if you have something that you think I can learn, just drop it in the comment section. If you have any questions or any advice, just go ahead and leave it in the comment section. Once again, go ahead and like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.